All right, so let's go ahead and jump into week 10 and this trade that I ended up taking this past week, which was Euro CHF. If you watched last week's best setups video, then you know that we were looking for buys because the weekly and the daily were both bullish. But let me go over that real fast. Here we are on the weekly. We see that this was a higher high. This was a higher low. This was also you can consider this an area of interest on the weekly. One touch, 2, and 3. So coming into the week, we noticed that price had given us a inverted head and shoulders. This is the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, which ended up going bullish, or you could consider it here, but right shoulder ended up going bullish, gave us this pullback, and then confirmed it once price closed above here. So what was I looking for? As I mentioned, a weekly retest, and then for price to continue. Now, this is the weekly retest that I was mentioning, right? As I said, just want price to come back into the zone. Once it comes back into the zone, then we'll look at the other time frames and then the lower time frames for entry. Now, if we jump to the daily, we see it's pretty much the same exact thing. Daily's bullish. If you want, you could still draw up the inverted head and shoulders pattern. Just like this. Retest and then continue up. Now, I know I usually wait for the daily to enter into this area of interest, but when I saw it, price had wicked in it and then pushed up, gave us a good push up, just showing us rejection. So I wasn't going to wait until it came back down here because I had told the members that once I saw this, I feel like price was going to give us a big candle shooting up the next day. And I'll even put in a clip of when I said it before it even happened. So if I have a feeling that if price comes back to this entry point, I might want to hop into it here because I think we can see price push up, and I'm not 100%, but I feel like that will be a more probability or higher probability thing to happen than for price to come and close into this area of interest on the daily. Again, I do like this entry, even though it didn't close inside this area of interest. I feel like price could potentially push up for the rest of the week. I just have a strong feeling that that'll happen and that tomorrow we'll get another candle that'll engulf this previous one that we got today. Now, I had mentioned to them that even though we had missed this entry on this 1 hour, price did end up making a new high. So what I would be looking for is for price to just come down, make a new higher low, like regular price action, regular market structure, and then see if it's giving us some, bullish pressure from this area, or see if it's looking to continue to head to the upside. So, and as I mentioned before, this is just simple market structure, right? When price shifts structure, or when price is in an uptrend, what are we looking for? Higher highs and higher lows, right? So it's the same exact thing here. Price ended up shifting structure to the upside, going bullish, gave us a new high. All we're looking for is a new higher low. This doji and this engulfing, what does that tell me? It tells me price might be wanting to continue up. So once I saw that, that's where I ended up taking the entry. Ended up putting my stop loss under the box. So this one's about 60, if I'm not mistaken. Now you could put it right under the box if you want. Again, like I always say, I like to add around like 5 pips just to give price more breathing room. So our stop loss was 60. And then we were just targeting a 1 to 2.5 or 1 to 3. Now our 1 to 2.5 was up here. So it didn't get hit. However, if we jump to the higher time frames, then I'll let you guys know exactly why I ended up getting out. Actually, we could do it right here. So price was moving very strongly in our direction, which was great. And then somebody asked me in the Discord, why or when do you know when to get out? When do you know if the trade's about to reverse or go back in the other direction? And what I told him was, once price starts moving sideways, right, like this, or it's not going to be perfectly like this, right? It could be something like this or whatnot, but sideways on the lower time frame is showing me, okay, price might be respecting that area, whatever area is at. Maybe it's an area of interest there, or it just decides to do it. But I noticed that on the 1 hour, if I see it on the 1 hour and then I see a break of structure to the downside, then a pullback, and then engulfing candle, then more than likely I'm out. I mean, usually with the break of structure, I'll probably just hop out just to save some profits. But once I see this, then I know, okay, yeah, price is trying to move to the downside. Now, this one's a little different because price was still bullish, right? However, I was just focusing on this sideways movement that we see here. And I was like, yeah, I think price can start to come down now, right? Because we have price try to make a new high, ended up dropping. Came back, tried to make another new high, ended up dropping. Came back, tried to make another new high, and then this is where I actually got out. And as we see, price started to continue down. Now, later on in the week, it did go up, but I don't even want to be in this little pullback, right, that price is giving us, because that's just going to mess up your psychology. Price has already been moving crazy this year, which, you know, the markets are changing, of course. So once I saw price was giving me that on the lower time frames, I just ended up taking my profit, getting, I think, what, 3,000 if I'm not mistaken. And then if it pulls back, gives me an entry, I'll hop in it to continue. If it doesn't, then at least I secured 3,000. So that's going to be my new approach, because I hate when I'm in profit and then price ends up coming back down and taking us out, like what happened on the last trade that I took. So this was a great week, and it ended up getting 3,000 out the market. Still got work to do. We are bringing the account back, which is great. It is taking longer than I would like, but I mean, it is what it is. Like I mentioned before, I'm not here for speed, because if I pass it, or not if I pass it, when I pass it, I'm just going to be happy that I passed it, that I'm funded, that I'm able to, you know, actually get payouts now. Yes, speed is great and everybody wants it fast, but at the same time, it doesn't happen like that always. So just keep that in mind if you're, you know, struggling, or if you're down in your challenge, that just give yourself time. Just make sure you're sticking to the strategy, and just really try to pass it. Don't worry about who's passing it first, who's passing it last. None of that matters, because I promise you, when it gets passed, people are going to be congratulating you that you even passed it, and not going to be worried about how fast you did it and this and that. So let's jump to FundingPips. I'll show you guys exactly how that's looking and how the account's looking and everything. So this is where we're at, 98,190, down 1.81%. Still on phase one. Let me see. I mean, 40% win ratio. Win ratios don't really mean a lot to me, just because you can have a low win ratio and still be funded or still make money. So I know some people it matters, but to me personally, it doesn't. I thought this was pretty interesting. I've only taken 10 trades out of 3 months. And I think in January, I took 4. Let me see. Yeah, January, we took 4 trades. February, we actually ended up taking 5 trades. And then we just had the trade this March. So I think it's just cool to see like how many trades I'm taking a month. I definitely don't feel like I'm over trading. If anything, maybe I'm not taking enough trades, but at the same time, I'm just trying to take the trades that I'm confident in, the trades that are giving me great setups. So, I mean, it is what it is, but that is how the account is looking. Now let's jump over to Trade Locker and see all the trades that I've taken as well. So as you see here, let me refresh it so nobody thinks it's fake or anything like that. We see here, Euro CHF, $3,000. And this was March 12th. So everything lines up. Everything is looking good. And yeah, that's how the week ended. So next week, like I said, just come back, do the same thing, analyze the pairs. So be sure to look out for the video tomorrow. And I also got some comments that some people took Euro CHF. So congrats on that. Hope you guys made money. But let's do the same thing next week. Let's lock in. Let's be great. And let's get some money out the market. So I'll catch you on next video.